Happy Valentine's Day.
Let's go.
Hey. What's good, people? Welcome to another edition of Ladies First, the Chit-Chat crew. I'm your superhero DJ John Quick. And we'd like to get to our esteemed host. First up, we got Lachelle. Next up, we got Chandra. And of course, we can't forget Crystal. We got Nikki in the building. And of course, Ed Me.
I can't hear you guys.
And the creator of the Ladies First Chit-Chat crew. Last but not least, Nikki Kimbrough. So let's get hyped, ladies. And welcome to another edition of the Ladies First Chit-Chat crew. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning, Nikki.
There we go. I couldn't hear you.
Good morning, ladies. Good morning,
guys.
Good morning,
Good morning, ladies. Welcome to the Ladies First Chit-Chat crew, where we honor the voice of the everyday woman.
I can't hear anyone. I can't hear them. Yeah.
Live television, people.
This is hysterical.
Look at me.
I
Emma goes,
have no
can't
idea
hear
what just happened.
anybody.
I heard nothing. And
You
I
can't.
still
Can you hear us now?
It is like.
Can you hear us now? Can you hear us now?
I see Nick.
That's the beauty.
I'm
Look,
gonna do something, guys. I'm here.
Okay, baby. That's the beauty of being live. That's the beauty of being live. Can everybody else hear? People that are tuning in on Facebook or YouTube, put something in the chat for us. Tell us that you're here. Happy Saturday. Happy Black History Month. What's up, beautiful ladies? Y'all look good in your red, honeys. How you doing?
Happy V-Day.
Happy V-Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, ladies.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day, everybody. Yeah, y'all looking cute. We look beautiful.
Oh, Edme.
I'm having some technical sound difficulties, ladies.
You
I
back?
don't know if you guys can hear that. Are you making fun, laughing?
We can hear you. You good.
Everything that's happening. Oh gosh.
But I can't hear you well. I'm just gonna take it.
Just take them off. Just take them off. You look good.
I see you talking, but I can't hear again.
So just undo your Bluetooth headphones and just go through the speaker.
That's what I'm doing, but now Kevin's gonna have to hear all of us talk. I mean,
That's all right, Kevin. He might learn something today. Hey, he might learn something today.
Hey.
Michelle, today I feel like saying, who's the master?
You guys keep on talking. Hi.
I'm the master.
Oh my.
Yes, my vision board workshop is today.
That's
At 1 o'clock right after this. I am super excited. It's about to be a life-changing day, ladies.
I know it's about to be a life-changing day. Tell everybody, you guys, it is still time to join Lachelle's life-changing workshop today. Tell everybody.
Still grab a seat. We'll be getting together at 1 o'clock today. So that's about 2 hours from now. And you can just go to LachelleWooten.com and you will see where you can click and get your seat. Please join us. Make your life different.
So mad I have prior commitment.
It's all right, my will be there.
I am too, Chandra. I feel the same way. I'm a
Don't worry.
If I can double dip. I'm trying to figure it out. Speaking of Chandra, you look beautiful in your red and your red lip and your hair out back. How you feeling today?
You know, I actually feel cute, real cute today. I felt cute earlier, but then when I put on this pop, I forgot I had this. Like, this is actually a gown. Let's be honest.
Of course, it's a gown. Of course.
Of course, that is true.
You gotta stand up and show us. Stand up.
This is a full gown, and I just like, it's Zoom, so it could be a shirt, whatever. It's
Right.
and now I feel pulled, honey.
You
Pulled.
are pulled.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I can see a little collarbone cooking out there too. I see a little bit. Yes. I love it.
We might go into a full photo shoot after our session today.
You better. You better.
Miss Crystal, how are you, my love? How's it going today?
It's going. I was doing the most this morning. I was sweeping and mopping, making coffee, getting dressed, making sure. I mean, who does that? Who does that? A Wonder Woman.
A woman.
Hey. But I was like, because ask me what I'm doing at 1:00.
What you doing?
What you doing?
I know you.
I have this friend, and she's a life coach, right? Girl, let me tell you. Look, let me get my phone. Girl, let me tell you. She is the bomb, and she is doing a master class. And you know what the name of it is? What's the name of it, Lachelle?
Nothing is in your way.
Nothing is in your way. So what you might want to do, ladies, is get on this, because nothing is in your way, but you don't know that yet until you come at 1:00 Eastern. So yeah, that's why I had to sweep them off the floors first, so that I could get on this.
Wait to see you there, boo.
You had to get
and be what? So I got a girl. I'll call you back. No, I have to, because then I needed to make sure that my mind wasn't thinking about other things I had to do. Right. So yeah. And I feel cute, and I got a new ponytail on. So I don't know what she's doing yet, but
She looked happy.
she looks happy.
She's real cute, honey. She's real cute.
so cute. Nikki Boss, what's up? How are you? Nikki Boss, you look beautiful in
I
red.
can't.
No, thank you. I have on
I'm
color.
about to cry.
How are you?
I am good. I feel really, really good. I feel cute. Chandra took that. I do feel cute. I'm feeling good today. It's what is it? 11:00. When I show up and I see all you faces and I see everybody joining us, like that just brightens me up. It really gets my weekend going. So I'm feeling good and I'm happy.
I love that, Nick. And you're happy. I'm gonna go to Edmay. Edmay, I just told her to go to her cell phone. Edmay, can you hear us? It's
my.
Don't yell at her. Don't yell. You're like, Edmay, can you hear?
Edmay, can you hear us?
Well, in the meantime, I want to know, what is Chandra drinking?
Ladies,
Because
I'm
that
having
looks
such
so
technical
refreshing.
problem. Please, somebody send me the link, because I cannot hear none of you. So I can go myself.
We'll do it right now.
We have to work behind the scenes.
Because I want to be there. I see you, but I'm not there.
Okay, we got you. So funny you should ask. This is actually sea moss.
Oh, it looks very good, but you got something else up in there.
So you guys,
I'll be right
I don't
there.
know if you know or not, but I tried to fresh press juice.
Yeah.
Like every other day or every 3 days or whatever, because it is its most freshest at within 3 days. And so Callie used to be on smoothies, and she's shifting, and so now she doesn't really want smoothies, and so I would sneak the sea moss into her smoothies.
Okay.
So I had to figure out another way to get her to drink the sea moss, and so I would already make like a flavored sea moss. And so now I just made it into a juice. So I put the fresh pressed juice and the sea moss, and I blend it for as long as I can to make it like, super, super, super minute little things in there that she doesn't even realize that she's drinking.
Awesome. It just looks so refreshing. I had to ask.
So
I have my favorite.
pineapple juice, sea moss.
Hmm.
I love it. You know what, Chandra?
Very
I actually you and Lachelle were talking about the sea moss so much, I started doing a little bit more research on it, and I just put it in my nutrition packet for my clients. And I ordered it for myself, and I started using it in my smoothies. And I'm training a new client and another elite fencer, world champion, and I was so excited. I was introducing him to sea moss, and he was already on it. I was like, yes, I couldn't wait to tell you. So thank you for putting me on to the sea moss. See how much we learn when we come to the ladies first Chit-Chat.
I'm sure I do, because Chandra made that look really refreshing, like I was sitting on somebody's beach.
I know. It's good because when you clean the sea moss properly, and it takes the sweet taste out of it, so it takes on whatever taste that you put it in, pretty much.
Right.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna check in with our Edme. Edme, you here, baby?
Yes, I'm finally here. I'm on my cell phone. It was like the most frustrating thing. Couldn't hear you, Nikki. I could see you.
You look beautiful.
Edme.
Thank you.
You're off today.
I'm connected to you, ladies. I switched today off so I could be here with my glass of wine, in my red dress.
I love it. In
your
red
dress,
Miss
Lady Dahiana.
Yes, and your area all nice and showing and ready to go.
And we see how relaxed she is.
I know.
Relaxed.
I know.
You said her area. Her area.
All of her area. You guys, we got people on today. I know we got some new people on today because everybody is excited for our guests. Before we bring our guest on, I really want to go ahead and jump into this. We had our guests on, Miss Lady Dahiana, first season, and she just absolutely blew our minds, just educated us in such a way that we were definitely saying season 2, we were bringing her back. And y'all, today, in the words of Lady Dahiana, it's going to be a juicy day. That's where we got that from, right? Didn't we get that from Lady when we started saying juicy? We didn't get that from Lady?
That was Angela.
Oh, Angela. Oh, but Angela was using it in a different way. She was using it like we juicy. Well, every time I talk to Lady, she's always referencing how juicy things are going to get. Because at first, when I was talking about her coming, I was putting it's going to be hot. And then she sent me a text message. She said, we're going to have a juicy time. And I was like, that's it. So I shifted everything to a juicy time. I do want to preface, we will be speaking adult content today, everybody. So
no
if you have
kids allowed.
Influential ears around you, just want to give you a heads up. It will be adult content. But does anyone have anything to say before I bring her on? Does anyone have anything to say?
No.
I'm excited.
I gotta tee her up. Okay. So Lady Dahiana is a sex and life coach, movement specialist, and a On Who You Are speaker. She has spent 20 plus years training and coaching in various fields all over the world, spreading her message of fierce self-expression and radical accountability as she guides her clients from knowing to being. You guys, she is going to share her background with us, and she's going to support us in finding our sexual superpowers. Because y'all, I know I need it. I need a little touch up. So, in further ado, let's give it up for the woman of the hour, Miss Lady Dahiana. Come on in here, girl.
Smudge me, honey. Smudge me.
Hola.
Ladies.
Hola. It's like a fire up in here. Palo Santo.
Lady, we are so happy to have you. How are you this morning? How are you doing?
I'm feeling tender. So I want to lead with that. It's like a slower pace. Yeah, and I want to embrace the moisture of the juiciness that you've been talking about, Nikki. And I want to go to Lachelle's workshop afterwards, I think. So Lachelle.
Come on, girl.
I totally want to do that. Yeah, I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for having me back again. I have so many things that I want to kind of tap into, because every day that goes on in my life, I get more and more passionate about empowering women, about just making us go out there and get exactly what we want without compromise, and really tap into who we're meant to be, which is infinite goddesses through pleasure, in my opinion.
Infinite goddesses through pleasure. I love that. Leidy, before we get into it, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself, how you got into this. Just give them a little brief so they know who the Lady Dahiana is. Tell them a little bit about you.
Yeah, so I started as a movement artist from the age of like 9, 10. You know, I was always very passionate about movement and how things move and grow. I was simultaneously also very interested in relationships. I started my first relationship at 13 years old, and that lasted for about 7 years. So passion maybe was something that really drove me, that really got me very curious. What makes people passionate? How is passion maintained? And I was initially interested in this through jobs. You know, how can I be really passionate about my job? And I would make it a point that I would never want to stay in any job that I didn't feel completely juicy and passionate about. And eventually that started to transfer to relationships. So I realized that my passion in relationships was also very fleeting, that I would get really excited and then I would lose interest, similar to a lot of my careers. So I decided, well, you know, maybe I'm just going to accept this is the way I am, and I'm just going to explore different careers and different relationships. And I did that for a good 20 years. You know, I worked as a flight attendant, as a yoga instructor, as a movement specialist, as a eyewear designer. You know, I lived in about 7 countries. I dated people from all over the world, men and women. So I was so curious into, how do you keep passion? Is it a matter of who or when? Is it a technique? And the more I did that, the more that the more that I couldn't find fulfillment, the more that I looked, the more that I felt unsatisfied. And I started to get really curious about it. And after my second marriage became an open relationship, we started as monogamous, and I cheated because I was used to cheating on everyone. I used to call myself a serial cheater. I just could not stay with one person. I was too hungry. I am going to be using the word pussy in the most honorable way possible, if that's okay with you all. I feel like the word pussy has been sometimes judged and is not used properly. So when I use the word pussy, I am talking about honoring the feminine, honoring that center of creation. So I just want to make a little point of that. So when my second marriage kind of went the same way as all my relationships, I started to interview couples, because I was like, I want to know what's going on here. What is it about relationships? Why are divorce rates so high? Why are people so unsatisfied? Why are parents not having sex? And I spent about 3.5 years interviewing people in all kinds of relationships, poly relationships, open relationships, you know, cheaters, people that monogamish, which is something that I recently learned. I was like, what do you mean monogamish? Are you monogamous or not? And there's different layers of how people even see the word monogamy. And I started to capture the common threads of what worked and what didn't. And one of the things that I found was that people didn't catch things early enough. And I am a pattern detector. That's what, you know, coaches do. We analyze patterns over time. And I started to see, oh, I can hack this system, you know, and simultaneously, I don't know, the universe works in mysterious ways. Simultaneously, I found a beautiful certification with a woman named Jaya Ma. And it was a sexuality certification. And I also met my soulmate. So those things kind of happened at the same time as I was exiting my second marriage and getting a divorce. So it was like a big moment in my life where I'm getting divorced, I meet my soulmate, and I started to become a sex coach officially, even though I had been doing research, kind of like casually for many years, and then really like very serious for about 3-4 years. And so then I started practicing with my lover all the things that I had learned, and realized for the first time that I was able to hack ways to maintain passion, intensity, mystery, curiosity, consistency over time. So I became very passionate about it. It wasn't just something that I read or that I studied. I live it. I live it every day. I am in it. Sometimes a lot of coaches get imposter syndrome because we're trying to teach things that we're not actually embodying ourselves. So to me, it's not only my life, it is my career, it is my lifestyle, it is my passion to really be in the juiciness of it all, to be in pleasure, and let that be the fuel for everything that I do in my life. So is that like a good little a little overview of how I got here?
That is excellent. And I think I love your background. And one of the things I love that you're so honest about how you got into the business and how you started. But one of the things that really just turned me on right now is when you said everything you were learning, you were practicing. I love that you call your husband your lover. I love that. I love that. And you said you were practicing everything you were learning with your lover. That just really turned me on. Did that turn anybody else on?
Well,
and I think the key word, you said this the other night too, is practicing, and practicing. And also, I love that you mentioned, I know a lot of us as coaches, I can speak for myself, sometimes I find myself having imposter syndrome. So what I love about you, you're so real, you're in your face, and you are practicing what you preach. And in saying that, how do we practice within ourselves? Like, not even, our viewers, some of us are married, some have partners, some are single. What I love that you talk about, you don't have to have a partner to be in touch with, would you say, to be in touch with your pussy, to be in touch with your sexual superpower. Come on, lady, bring it us. Come on, tell us what's
So first, I like that you mentioned the word lover, because I feel when you talk about husband, all of a sudden something is like becomes a little flat with that word itself, and that somehow lover is reserved for an affair. When you think of an affair, you think of hot, juicy sex. So I just felt really a little jealous, like why can't I use that word with my husband? So I kind of like stole it. I was like, my husband is my juicy lover, So when I say that, people think that I have a husband and a lover, by the way, which is very interesting. People don't normally think that your lover is your husband. So I just wanted to add that. I want to take you all on a little visualization, and I want you to play with me a little bit if you're all down here. I want you to imagine for a moment, if you can. Are you all down?
Down.
Yes.
Down.
So I want you to imagine having a relationship with someone who can spend days or months without making real eye contact with you, without ever really seeing you, taking the time to see you. I want you to imagine having a relationship with someone who doesn't say, "Good morning, gorgeous. How are you? How are you feeling? What do you need?" Imagine having a relationship with someone who doesn't even call you sometimes by your real name, because they haven't invested the time to know who you really are. Imagine you're a human, but I'm calling you arm or ear or nose. Feel into having a relationship with someone who never honored you or worshiped you or spoiled you, but was very quick to rush you and judge you and expected you to be excited when others came to visit. Imagine having a relationship with someone who didn't want to cultivate a relationship with you, but thought that that was somebody else's job. For me, that is the relationship most women have with their pussies. They don't check in, listen, take a mirror, look at her, worship her, talk to her, listen to her. So my question to you to start is, if I gave a microphone to your pussy, how would she describe her relationship with you?
Ooh.
And please tell me, like, I want to, if we're going to get real, we have to start with the truth.
Come on, you guys, throw it out in the chat.
Honey.
Come on, Chit-Chat.
Let's see. Mine would probably say, where you been? And I need some air. Open the windows. That would be the first statement from my pussy. 100%. And then where you been like this?
Yeah. Why you don't come visit?
Where the hell you been? Okay. That's me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I would say that what happened? Oh, I would say, it's interesting. I do have a relationship with my pussy. However, it isn't as like when you were describing those different feelings, I never looked at it in those ways. So I feel like mine would really just be like, pay attention to me for real, like not like fake attention. Because I do pay attention to her. But it isn't like conscious, it's like subconscious attention, if that makes sense.
Yeah, thank you.
And I think that's learned behavior, right? It's just like, be clean or be, whatever we're taught in our culture. But I think that when you were describing all of that, I almost, was in tears thinking about, because I had no idea that that's where you were going, which is probably the point, right? But, you start saying, how, the roles of the other, like if we're talking about people, like in what instance have I been the one that was neglectful? And when have I felt neglected? So in that sense, my mind was kind of blown because I was like, oh, that's what we're talking about. But I think the relationship that I've had has been more so about, cleanliness and, care from kind of an aesthetic place, not from an intimate place.
Yeah. But imagine if someone came and washed you, kept you clean, and didn't love you.
Right.
That's deep.
That's deep. Yeah, I'm with Crystal. I'm in that space too, more so like just exactly. And it's when you just said, imagine someone, they come, they keep you clean, they tell you, make sure you good, put your panties on, put your underwear on, let's go get sweaty and work out, then let's go take another shower, you clean, you good. But yeah, I never really thought about it like that. Wow.
When you do think about it, because I was just sitting here, I was like, yeah, I do all the stuff you're talking about, but mine would say, pay attention to me. I have other needs too.
Yeah, mine would too.
I see you taking care of everything else.
Right. Can I be very honest with you? Mine would be saying, girl, you got that good looking man over there. What you doing? Mine would honestly be saying, what? You really trying to turn over right now? You got laying beside you. Really? What is wrong with you? I'm being very candid.
Yeah. You might be feeling that way, but I'm not that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
You might be mad, but I'm not. Let's
Right.
Right. That's a lot to say. If we listen, she has so much to say, I think. Edme, I'm looking at you. I'm feeling you. I know. I like you. I always like your energetic. I love the anticipation.
Yeah, in the chat, someone said mine would say loosen up.
Girl.
Yeah. I know. Oh, yeah. I want to hear what Edme says. Edme.
Man, I was listening and like everything is going to my mind. I didn't know you were going to go there at all, but I think listening to it is like, first of all, she'll be like, yo, girl, you need to tell me you love me because I'm the one that's bringing you the greatest pleasure and you're taking it for granted. And yeah, she'll be like, wait a second, I give you the greatest pain. Come on, ladies, we gotta fucking tell you that shit hurts, right? And then I get you the biggest pleasure because coming is so amazingly fucking good. You can't deny that, right? And then it gave us the greatest gift, which is allowing us to have kids that goes through there, right?
Yeah.
So she probably will be saying, "You took my ass for granted." And I will have to say, "I'm so sorry, I do love you."
I get that. I get that.
We'll take it from there.
That's
Love
funny.
that.
We got a guy in the chat.
I was just about to say that. Go ahead, Nick.
That was funny. He said, trust me, men be laying there saying the same thing. She needs me. And then, someone else says, mine would be saying, but can we get a friend?
Let's see the comments. Hold on.
Yeah. But you know what's interesting is that we're delegating the relationship to someone else automatically. So, and then we expect someone else to have a beautiful relationship with her when we are not even having the patience or the intention to do that ourselves.
Yeah.
You know?
Show and guide in terms of what you want.
So it's like he should know, she should know.
Yeah.
But I don't even know. And I wonder what she thinks when I'm like, why are you delegating our relationship to someone else? Someone else should complement the relationship. You know?
Yeah. Oh,
Tanya says, mine would say you have so much more to explore.
Yes. Yeah. You know, I have to be honest. I was calling my pussy vagina until maybe 2 years ago. I didn't even know of the vaginal opening is a part of your vulva. So even not knowing her real name or not giving her a cute name, like just like a total disconnection. What are her parts? What does she like independent of like anatomy? What is her, you know, we talked about erotic blueprints. What is her blueprint? You know, can I talk to her when I don't need her to do something for me? Because how do we feel when someone just comes to us as a tool for pleasure? Okay, I'm ready for pleasure.
How does that conversation go?
That's right.
I really want to know, what is that conversation like?
What is that's another word moment. That's one of those moments, you know, when you run around the church. That's what that is for me.
What is that conversation like? Said somebody.
Yeah. So imagine that she lives in a basement, right? But she cannot live anywhere else. So you have to go visit her, whether that's through a mirror. You know, mirror is a great way. Like it does require effort because she's naturally not exposed. She's usually covered in the dark. Like Lachelle said, like, give me some air. Like she needs air. So I'm wearing a skirt today, but and just dialogue, and it may feel strange, but when we start building a relationship with our parts, she's such an important part. Like Edme was saying, it's birth, it's pleasure, and even our periods. I wasn't taught about my period. You know, having your cycle is a very witchy, powerful time, but we're not taught about it in that way. So my relationship with my pussy was of hating her, demanding from her, like, why are you bleeding? Why do you smell like this? Why you're not wet? And I didn't know this. So I'm in the same place. I was very judgy and I was very manipulative and I was just using her. And I never really kind of like talked to her. And now I've developed a practice saying, hey, gorgeous, in the morning. How are you? And what I have found, and we'll talk a little bit about it, once you nourish her and really ask her what she needs and stop tolerating certain things that we do to her, she can lead you. She is your intuition, actually. You know? It's like, I need to make a decision, business decision. What does my pussy think?
Yes. You know, it's interesting, Leidy, because everything you're saying, right, about how we should be treating our pussies, right? Everything you're saying is the thing that, in my own personal experience and in the people that I coach, it's the very reasons the relationships don't last.
Right.
And I'm like, look at us.
Mic drop.
The master culprits of this problem.
Yeah, yeah. So we complain when our men and our women don't treat us that way, but we are bullying her all the time. And I don't want to, this is not about shaming, you know, it's about growth, you know.
It's such an awakening.
Yeah, it's awareness. It's awareness.
Yeah. And then not only awareness, but going back to Nikki, am I willing to start a practice? Am I willing to take you on a date? Am I willing to look at you, to see you? We know what it feels like not to be seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Leidy, where do you think that comes from? Where do you think that began? The distance, the shame, because men celebrate their penises, right? They're
they hold hands with their feet all the time.
They do have, but they do have names that they call it, and they do have, and it's very, you know, is it cultural? Is it like it's an acceptance that this, you know, for the male experience, it's to be celebrated, but to you know, as we talk about as women and other things, like is it simply that? You know, but what are your thoughts?
So as always, what I think is just an opinion, my perception of what I've experienced, and I recommend a movie called Dangerous Beauty. It's old, but it's very powerful. I think honestly, patriarchy realized the power of our pussies, and they convinced us, you know, brainwashed us into being ashamed of it, as a way to not be accepted in society. If you think of the witch hunts and women that are overly sexual, then they're sluts, and we start shaming each other. So they did such a brainwashing job on us that we believe it. So I think we are so powerful when we own our pussies that they had to put a lid on that. and it goes back to sex education, like, but this is like centuries of like, let's burn the witches. Let's not let women own their sexuality. If not, they're whores. If not, they're going to be excommunicated from society. Let them not. People's clitoris are still being cut today. Moms are cutting their little girls' clitorises.
Which is crazy.
Today. Which is
insane.
Yeah.
You know what? It's also culturally. Someone's moving and shaking. I'm not sure what. But culturally, like in Black African American culture, you know, Black women were told to, you know, this is your pussy is only to bear children. Like you're not supposed to get any gratification. You're not supposed to have a relationship with that. You're not supposed to do anything other than have children, bear children, make more people more in that time slaves for us. You know, it was that type of connotation behind your areas, your private, the things that we are beautiful pussies.
You're beautiful. And even you calling it your private, you know, there's a secrecy to that.
I know. That's why
private parts.
And I was like, I changed my terminology because
I was thinking that.
that is something that randomly my okay, y'all know I always come back to my mom, but that was never a conversation that we had also. And so the only thing that was my mom was very solid about was not nicknaming your private area.
My mom was too.
This is your vagina. This is not a vajayjay. This is not a whatever. This is your vagina. And that's pretty much the only teachings other than cleanliness, the only teachings about it. And so this right now, I'm like,
but this is even like Black Wall Street or whatever. There's so much we don't know about women's sexuality of the past. Right. And then we just keep teaching our daughters and moms the same thing, you know, and it's a disservice. We need to reclaim the word pussy. Pussy in societies, you're a pussy, is seen as something that is weak.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It is the strongest thing on earth.
That's
the strongest. Lady, say that again. It's the strongest. What? Say it again.
It's the strongest force on earth. Like
it is.
Life comes through.
There's nothing stronger.
There's nothing stronger. A penis cannot do that. And I love cocks. Cocks are beautiful. I love them. But we need to honor and reclaim the power of the word, of her force, of her potential. We need to give her a voice, and we need to stop shaming each other, because that's another little thing. So not only do they brainwash us, but we are policing other women for their sexuality.
Lord, what are we doing?
What are we doing? We need to get together.
So true.
Yes.
Yeah. So Chandra, to bring it up together, it's just, I think it's miseducation. And it was a very great strategy. And I think we're in the age of information, and we should be informed, and we should reclaim it because it's powerful. And we're walking around without a part of ourselves. And and I've said this before, once we can claim that, watch out for us, man. There's nothing more powerful than a juiced up woman that on her own.
Yeah.
I love, Abby just said, I've always valued her, but I didn't realize the power until a man validated her. I had to learn that it was my job to validate her and keep her safe from lies, diseases, etc. I don't know why that just kind of, I got a right there.
Think of her as a little girl, because sometimes we forget. Wow, this little girl. I don't love this little girl. You know, because she's gonna become a woman.
But we've taught, you know, I'm sitting here listening, and this like stems into everything. It like pulls it all together, because it, you know, we're taught in everything we do, and as we're evolving, right? Because as we're evolving, women are stepping up into more leadership positions. We're, you know, in many cases, supporting each other to move forward, supporting ourselves, hopefully, to move forward. But, you know, I just think about the fact of how you're taught to conform to a way of presenting yourself in such a way that downplays all the things that I often talk about, which is I want to show up being unapologetically woman in all that I do. So when you look at the fact that, and, you know, many people have listened, I work in, you know, and have many years in corporate America. You know, for many years, the companies I've worked for, which were male dominated in technology, you had to wear suits, right? And it wasn't until one day this woman showed up, and yes, all eyes were on her, but she had on this fitted suit. She had no stockings on, and this was like over 10 years ago. Nice shine to her legs, painted toes showing, had her little, you know, name brand bag, makeup on, hair done. And I was like, I will never show up another, you know, any other way for another meeting again, other than feeling and embracing all of me. And so what you're talking about, which is really interesting, because earlier, when you were talking about, immediately I was thinking, oh, you should have pussy dates, you know, and someone mentioned it afterwards, but that's a whole nother sense of really tapping into your inner strength right? Yeah. Knowing and controlling the things that really, that get you going, that make you feel good, and you're able to bring that out, right? In everything else you do. So I just had to share.
Yeah, Nikki, creativity. Like, why to be powerful, I have to be masculine.
And that's what they teach us.
Like, who invented that?
We're taught to hide it, and in many cases, we're fighting against that, right? We're fighting, and I think we should do more of it. Show up more of who you are. It's not just about style and the way you do your hair or anything like that. It is show up all of you. We are women. We're very strong.
Right.
And if it takes you having that personal date, right, for you to get personally more in touch with yourself to help you, then do it.
Do it.
No, I love my masculine. I love masculine, but I love my feminine.
That's
and I
right.
love my eroticism, and I take it everywhere. If you can't handle it, that is your issue. Yeah. That means there's something in you.
We're taught we need to manage it, right? You can't come too strong. You can't. I love this.
Yeah, I don't want to overwhelm anyone, so I don't want to be too sexy.
You're a woman.
You're a woman.
And then we judge those women, right? We need to be embracing them for showing up and embracing all of themselves, right?
Yeah.
We
and inspiring.
It's funny, lady. I have a girlfriend. She's probably watching, and I'm going to say her name because she would be happy. My girlfriend Angela. When I first met her, when I first moved to New York City, she was older than me, but it was something about her. I was just like, oh, I love that. And I'm saying this because she and I talk about this. Sometimes in society, her skirt might be a little too short, or her, or her heel might be a little too high. But it was something about it that I just loved being around her. And I remember the first time we went to the Village Underground, and I had a bra on up under this cute little top. She took me in the bathroom. She goes, "We are taking this bra off. You're going to go up on the stage and sing." And I was like, "But my nipples are showing." She did like this, so they would show more. But can I? And she was, and then I remember she like pulled my pants down, and she was touching my booty and touching all over me. And she was like, "I want you to go in there, and I want you to own everything that you're doing." And I remember I got up on that stage with Ron Grant, Chandra. And I swear I sang that song the best that I did, nipples showing, pussy out, pussy tight. But one of the reasons that I love her so much is because she owns her pussy. You guys know what I'm talking about. She owns her femininity. She owns it. And I always say that's, I think when I love her. She's a great person. But one of the reasons I think I look up to her so much because there's a part of me that wants to embody that freeness, and she doesn't care if her dress is too short. She like, that's your problem. One time I called Nikki, and I even said, and I told her this, I was like, "Look at that short dress Angie got on." Nikki said, "I love it. I love the fact that she is embracing and walking in that short dress." So I don't know. I just had to add that.
That's also a super thing that we have to like come back and like
That's right.
Focus on is because like I was not raised like that in any form, fashion of the word. Like my mama and them almost didn't wear dresses because of church and like that kind of stuff. I mean, didn't wear pants. They only could wear like dresses down to the floor. So the level or the how sexual is too sexual, like for me, it is something like you could probably count on one hand how many times you've ever seen me in like shorts or something like that. And it's not because I'm not comfortable with my body. It's just I was taught that you don't show that. You don't, and you have to have a modesty behind that. And someone just wrote in the chat, which made me think of that. Was like, do you think mothers didn't talk about this subject with their daughters because they didn't want to encourage sensuality or lead them to have promiscuous behavior?
Yes,
and that is, I know 100%. That's why my mom didn't allow us to dress provocative or anything like that, because I was a model really, really young. I was doing edgy photo shoots and like stuff like that. But then as soon as the photo shoot's over, I'm like,
cover.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm glad Nikki mentioned nipples. Nipples is another thing. Don't show your nipples. Like nipples are not allowed. That's very aggressive. And even if we go to rape culture, it is a woman's fault if she's too sexual to tempt the men who can control themselves.
Right. What was she wearing?
What was she wearing?
Right.
So it's like a whole, we're like chained up.
Yeah.
In our subconscious.
I love that lady that comes into the Times Square that wears her nipples. Like she is bare chested and she has it painted like what's the guitar guy or whatever his name is.
The cowboy. Yeah.
So it's a cowgirl and she does the exact, she's like, anything he can wear, I can wear. And she like walks to him naked. Like with her boobs out, her chest out, or whatever. And I was just like, the first time I saw that, I was like, girl!
We judge a little bit. We do judge. There's a little part that is like, it's so ingrained that we feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. You know what I realized in listening to Chandra when she was like, they don't want to encourage their daughters to be promiscuous. I'm realizing in this conversation, I don't even think promiscuity is a thing. Because I'm like, I want to be promiscuous with all
I struggle.
What is That's not actually a thing, right? It's a way to shame what you naturally have the power and desire to do. It's a shame word. Promiscuity is a shame word. I just realized that right now.
Yeah. I will tell you though, I think it my girlfriend Julie is the one who put that comment in about, how it's taught, right? And you don't want to be seen as the, in Southern culture, the fast girl, the loose girl. You don't want to get pregnant and all this stuff. And when young girls do get pregnant, then there is like, she had a baby at 15, or, then your life is over if you become a young mother, or it tells everybody that you have been sexual before marriage, or you have been sexual. You're not supposed to, good girls don't do that. And so that language starts so early, by the time you really grow into womanhood, you're growing into shame culture that has been around for generations. And then when you hear about women, when you hear about those, she was a loose woman. What does that mean? Like she owned her sexuality?
Right.
Or that, in some, I remember having a conversation with my mom and I was saying, I have, a son, we have a son, but I was like, if mothers talk to their daughters about, self-pleasuring and all of those things, that it's normal, that nothing's wrong with you, really normalizing it the way that men do with their sons, or even sometimes mothers do with their sons. They normalize the fact that that's part of what happens as a boy. I have a girlfriend who has a son and a daughter, and when they were younger, her son began to, and I won't name her name, her son began to stay in the bathroom for really long periods of time, and his little sister was like, "Mommy, how come he's in there for so long?" And she said, "Don't worry, baby, he'll be out in a little while." Like, so she was just like, he's fine, he'll be out, right? And I was just like, it's funny to me. It was funny to me then. It's funny to me now. But her daughter couldn't have had that experience because that's not what you tell your daughters, Yeah.
But on that note, that's where I was getting into earlier. I struggled just bringing up that whole daughter thing. I happen to have a daughter that's, she's extremely blessed in every area with lots of curves. And she's tall and she looks a lot older than she is to me. And I'm struggling because I'm listening to our conversation and I'm thinking about the things that I should have or still should, right? Have a conversation with her. She's like in her first year of college. And even this year, I remember she was getting ready to go out and, I had to backtrack some of the things I was saying or the way I was saying it because I noticed, right? I was hoping I wasn't, but maybe feeling like I was giving her some sort of a complex about the blessing that she had of how she looked. And I needed to tell her that she was beautiful and sexy. But there's so many things that go along with that. So although we want to push and we want to encourage this, I am struggling. So this is a question for all of us. How do we manage that balance, right? Of teaching our children to embrace this about themselves and appreciate it, and feeling like it's okay to and show it off the way you want to, in a classy way that makes you feel good, without sitting back wondering that it's too much, right? Wondering if it gives the wrong message, especially when they're younger, right? And putting yourself in a position where you're not necessarily empowering your young ladies the way we're talking about today, the way we want them to feel, and not wait until they're older to get there, right? Yet helping them to understand that there are other people that are looking at them differently, right? I'm really struggling with that, because as I'm listening to this conversation, I'm thinking of all the things I haven't spoken to my daughter about. She's 18. But yet she has this great body, right? So how do you balance that?
That's a great question.
Dump everybody.
Don't everybody move at once.
The reason why I bring this up too is because you see your children and they come out and she looks really nice and neat. It just so happens, and I have to say, my daughter has looked like this her entire time growing up, and I feel bad because she's taller, she's shapely, and when you have a young lady that's not built the same and they're shorter, you don't make the same comments. But when your child is, overly blessed in areas, you're like, can't wear that, honey.
Yeah, I think it's just about normalizing it. Like it's normal. Just saying it to her, like it's normal to be a Black woman with curves. Like that's normal, and we walk through society like it's not normal. Like we are fake beings.
I remember we had to put a sweater around your. I know booties now are in, but I remember when you had to put a sweater to cover. Like if you had a big ass, you had to cover it.
I still do that.
I think, Nikki, I think it's about embracing an imperfect process of entering into a new reality.
Yeah, you're right.
We cannot go into it saying, how can I do it perfect?
That is the problem I'm sitting here struggling with. And you're right. It's accepting that. But it sure is hard, because that's part of what we all have gone through. Like you grow up a certain way and then you get older and it's like, hey, I don't know. Yeah, but it is an imperfect process.
And an imperfect conversation. And it actually starts with you.
Yeah.
With your own relationship, cultivating that, and then you start to embody. We teach better through example than we do through words.
Absolutely.
Because our children they listen, but they see more than they listen. I think.
Yeah.
So it's gonna take time, but we need to start talking about it and knowing that we might mess up, and everybody's version of balanced is different.
That is true. That is true.
I guess what I'm also tapping into, is there a strength in teaching how you can teach your children more, your female children more at a younger age, if we were teaching them some of the things that we're talking about today? That's, I think, where I'm going. And how do you bridge it in a place that we still understand this imperfect situation that, we may be living in terms of how it impacts them individually. But I think there's some sort of strength in starting earlier, and I'm trying to figure out.
Better. You say early. Like Callie is 2 years old, and already at 2, when her stomach is exposed in a shirt, she starts to tug and pull it down because something Autumn said. She's like, "Don't show your stomach," or being playful, and so now she's like. He always pulls down, and I'm like, don't do that. And I feel like if we as parents or as teachers, aunties, or whatever, make it a point to normalize conversations with our other female counterparts, it makes it so that when you go into society, some dude doesn't say something and then you're like, oh, like that's it for me. Like I need to do that instead of like what my parents or my mom or my auntie has already been taught. That's my biggest thing is like I don't want Callie to hear any information outside of the house first. You know what I mean? I want her to hear it here first, and we can have a conversation about it, versus she hearing it first in a bedroom setting.
But that probably will happen anyway, because you can't be all places all the time. But at least if she can say, like, I'm going to my family to ask them about this instead of taking the word of it, which many of us have done outside of the house. But I want to say something too, Leidy. You really connected to how we should celebrate. How we celebrate all of our relationships that are intimate, right? And when Nikki shares a story about being, 5 years old and singing a solo in the front of the church, that's one of my favorite stories. And she was celebrated. And she was celebrated along the way as this is not shameful, right? Yeah. And I think it's right there. It's like when your child is very young and they begin to realize, their gender or their, I don't know, body part, whatever it is.
Their pleasure.
Like, and their desires, their pleasure. And like you said, Chandra, just, pulling the shirt down, when you start to see like, okay, that's a covering or a shameful, you feel ashamed, so you're doing that, versus like, oh no, I just want my it's not normal, it's shame, right? Or it's not like what you would want her to feel, and really being there to say, no, this is what we celebrate, because right. That shame thing starts so young. I mean, I feel like there's certain things that I didn't even realize I was shameful about until I became older, and then you're like, why does that feel like something I don't want to talk about, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tanya says that she's tried to raise her females to be free and embrace their womanhood, and they do. I'm just, again, I just feel like, I didn't do this. So I just feel like there's something there about the younger we are as females, if we are taught, maybe we'd also respect ourselves better, right? Maybe we'd understand the power that we have at a younger age, right? Mm-hmm. And value it so much more, right? Mm-hmm. From a deeper place.
Mm-hmm. But Nikki, also forgiving ourselves for not knowing it early enough. Because if you're going to go into teaching with already shame, I didn't do it, it's just shame on top of shame.
Yeah.
Yeah. But me, thinking forward, though, definitely, like, what can we do differently? Like, when I finish this conversation, when I have time, I'm talk to my daughter, right?
But talk to your pussy first.
Yeah. Okay, I'll talk to my pussy. But the other thing for people who are on with us today, if you have younger, females, I just think there's something there,
And boys.
And boys.
Same thing. And boys.
And boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And teaching trust, because if patriarchy said, I don't trust you, woman, to own I have to tell you what to do because I don't trust you.
Yeah.
We have to, I trust you to make good decisions. Like, teach trust, because then people are going to get their strength from other people. Tell me what to do. Tell me how to dress, because I don't trust you to make a good decision.
Yeah.
Wow. Right. We're going to start wrapping up soon. I do want to ask our community out there, if you have any questions for Leidy, please put them in the chat. This has been, every time I talk to Leidy, I get pings and I get.
Me too.
Don't worry, I'm not about to cry though. But I get pings and I feel like today, I feel like my pussy is the strongest being ever. I've never felt that before. Like I've never. When Chandra put that in the chat, that what Leidy said, I wrote that down. Pussy is the strongest force on earth. Right now, I feel like that for the first time in my life.
It's so true.
Crazy. Like, I'm over here moving my feet because I feel strong and powerful.
Yes.
We've been leading from here. Even from here. Let's lead from our pussies.
Yes.
Yes. And it's great how, wow, like I have a big decision to make this afternoon. And I really did say to myself, okay, girl, what we gonna do? And I've never done it before. Like we're sitting here going, okay, what how are we gonna handle this? And she just gave me my answer. Lady Julie says, how can we connect with you? Tell everybody how they can connect with you. What do you have going on? Share with us about that.
Yeah, so you can reach me at ladydianacoaching@gmail.com. You know, I'm on Instagram, Lady Diana Coaching, and I always put lots of free stuff. I always like to give free workshops and things like that. If you're interested in going deeper, I have a group course starting March 22nd. And it's for 2 months. It's only going to be about 10 people, and we're going to dive deep into erotic blueprints and just kind of owning your pleasure. If you are very, very turned on by what happened today and want to work with me 6 months deep dive, then I do have 3 spots for my 6-month program starting at the end of March. That is all that I can take in September. I'm not going to work with anyone else. I'm going to work on a bigger project. So this is the last chance to work with this pussy.
Love it.
Yeah.
And Lady Diana coaching at gmail.com.
At Gmail. Yeah,
right?
and you can either put course if you're interested in the course, or you can put 6 month if you're interested in the 6 month, and we'll just talk a little further.
Good. Did it go? Yeah, Lady, did I spell it right? LADIAHANA. Did I spell it right?
Lady Diana Coaching at Gmail. I can put it also in the chat. I don't see yours.
It just popped up.
Yeah.
Lady Diana Coaching at gmail.com, you guys. And if you are interested in the subject, put course if you're interested in the course. And if you are interested in her 6-month intensive, put the 101 6 months. I was told the other day that there's a woman that's doing the 6 months and she is loving it. And so I'm telling everybody, hey, I'm excited. I'm just excited. I'm excited. Any other questions, you guys? So before we wrap up, I know, Shelly, I know you have to leave. Tell everybody one more time. Who's the master? Who's the master?
I'm coming, Michelle. I'm so coming.
Good. Yeah, I'm going to go get ready. Again, you can simply go to LachelleWooten.com. You'll see the tab if you want to grab a seat. And whoever's coming, I'll see you at 1. And whoever isn't, I'll see you next week. Congratulations, ladies, on our collective discovering of our pussies today. Yes. Me and my pussy are about to lead some people.
Take her with you, girl. Take her with you.
She's coming with me everywhere I go.
Love you. Love you. Bye. Really quickly, as we wrap up, Chandra, how are you feeling, babe?
Sorry, my mic. I was muted, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to unplug my mic because.
Hi.
So tell me if you can still hear me.
We can hear you. Yes.
Okay. Because I had to unplug it because she is singing in the mic. Anyway, I am, honey, I feel great. I am about to.
Right? Don't you feel like?
I'm like, you know what? It's interesting because especially when you, or for me, I feel like when you have been in a long relationship, my wife and I have been together for 20 years. And so, everything in the relationship ebbs and flows and like comes in and out, and especially in the intimacy area, like, you just kind of start leveling off. You have super high days, super high months or whatever, and then you have like lower whatever. And I feel like that is because not being 100% connected with my pussy has probably accounted to some of those flows, ebbs and flows. And I'm like, honey, the way that life is about to change, honey. Yeah, I love the way I remember I was like, I feel really cute today. Like I'm about to we feel real cute today. And I'm about to take that into everything.
I love it. I love that you said we feel real cute. We, hey, you do look cute today. You look real cute though. You look cute. You look cute. How are you feeling, baby? Juicy. How are you feeling, baby?
Who?
Edme.
Oh, me. Oh, wow. So, I'm ready to feel of all that pussy talk. You know what? The whole time I'm listening today, and I'm like, this is what we've been talking about this whole time. Loving ourselves. And the essence of loving ourselves is to really taking the time to getting to know each other to the core. And it's always right from the center, which is the belly down deep into your pussy. So the conclusion of all that is we're going to have more wine. And then we're going to go back into the discovery of ourselves. Since I'm not home, I did come with a red dress, but no underwear. So let's embrace the whole pussy discovery in every area. And it's time that I go and have a talk.
Yeah.
Pussy dates all day. Saturday pussy dates.
Oh, I love that. Nikki, how are you feeling, Nikki on Boss?
Yeah, no, I think I said it earlier. I think for me, there was a discovery of that additional inner strength that you might not be tapping into, right? Without getting to know more intimately yourself, right? And the more intimate you know yourself, right, the stronger you as an individual are, right? And so I'm walking away today with the understanding that that's a relationship that on that level, right, versus your immediate needs of the here and now, right, that you address or, you respond to, that's a relationship that you need to invest in, right? Now, yeah, I'll leave it there. I think it's something if you haven't thought about that you need to be thinking about, Yeah.
The bottom line, I feel like if I was playing a spades game, I just would have been like, bottom line.
Learn to know yourself better than anyone else can ever know you. And actually that helps, right, to define all the things that, as Ed may say, that we talk about all the time, right? Defining what matters to us, what we value, right? What we want, what we'll tolerate. But it comes from our own strength. And I think there's some strength in there that I've yet to tap into. So I know I'm going to walk away with. That's something I need to work on.
I love it. Chris, how you
Man,
feeling?
I wish I went before Nikki on Boss. That's what I was.
I didn't mean to be so deep. I can't help it.
I was trying to switch it up because I always do Edme last. I was trying to switch it up today.
No, I think it's what I'm feeling. How I'm feeling is just the responsibility to connect and the responsibility to really be to understand that there's been shame for generations that were put into, not only, my family, but, all of our culture and how we do not talk about certain things and how we have a responsibility to connect and how the power is so within us. when Nikki Boss was talking about like the boardroom or the meeting or the all of these things that we're bosses on this show. The people who listen to us are bosses. You know what I mean? Like, how you just be like, yo, I know what I'm doing. And then sometimes you get to a certain age. I love my millennials and my Gen Zs and my X's and stuff like that, because they're bolder, I think, than we are. But baby, how dope am I going to be when that connection is strong enough that I'm way more unapologetic? Because I'm not going to feel shamed by, church, or this is the right thing to do, or good girls don't do that. Right. So I'm feeling amazing. Thank you, Lady Diana, for your authentic place that you got to, so that you can share it with us.
Yes.
And now we have a responsibility to share that, right?
Yes.
Pay it forward.
Lady, thank you, Chrissy. You said it. All you guys have just really summed it up on how what we get to do, for ourselves, and in return doing that for ourselves, how we show up differently. Like, I already have chills coming up and down my spine because and there's one thing. Lady was on Billy's and our show on Thursday, and she gifted us a couple session, and I'm excited about that. But I'm more so realizing, the couple session is going to be great, but I realized that my pussy is the strongest force on this earth, and I need to really get in touch with that. And I really do feel like that's the missing link. Chrissy and I were talking the other day. I can't believe. I feel like that's the missing link. Anyway, y'all know I could go on for days. Lady,
Can I
huh?
Can I add?
Yeah, go ahead.
So quickly, I think every woman, doesn't matter belief, religion, country, wherever in the world, however we grew up, I think the key is to have that connection that Lady Diana were first talking about when she told her story. To have that connection that we talked to, there's a word that I hear everybody almost talked about, it's the word shame. I think that it starts by really knowing, taking time, and not being ashamed of her and embracing her, whatever is our past, our history, our culture, whatever it is. You could be a church lady, but still be comfortable with her and embracing her. And that's that relation that gives you the power that's going to carry you. It doesn't matter. We don't have to put it out. We could be out, we could be in. It's really that intimate relationship. And that's where the power lays in all of us. And if we can really, really find this and tap into this, it doesn't matter what we look like on the outside. It's that confidence and that relationship and that true essence of love that we can provide within ourselves. That's then going to bring that. What's so different about this woman? She's good with
Love that, Emma. Thank you, baby. I love it when Emma puts her little. I love it.
That's so sexy.
Yes, lady, take us out of here. Leave us with the final words. One more thing to get in touch with Lady Diana. Go to ladydianacoaching@gmail.com. Hit her up. You can also find her at Lady Diana Coaching on IG. Lady, leave us with, you have been amazing. We love you. We're going to have you back again.
I know. I didn't even get through the whole thing. I feel like there's so much more.
That's because you're coming back. You're coming back.
You're coming back.
Nikki, I wanna honor you also. I wanna say thank you, Chandra. I love your pussy. Thank you, Crystal. I love your pussy. Thank you, Nikki. I love your pussy. Thank you, Nikki. I love your pussy. Thank you, Edme. I love your pussy. Thank you, my pussy. I love my pussy. So I just want to leave with an honoring of pussies. Go get a hand mirror. Buy a beautiful hand mirror, just so you can go visit as often as possible.
Lady Diana, we love you. Ladies, our viewers, thank you so much for your comments. Thank you for hanging out with us. And the Ladies First Chit-Chat crew, We will be back next Saturday where we honor the voice of the everyday woman. John, quick, take us out. And you guys, I'm going to send a little email that has all this information in there, okay? And where you can follow all of us. Let's take it out, y'all.
Pussy, pussy, pussy.
What am I going to do? Yay! Thanks, you guys. Have a great Saturday.
Gracias.